Thoroughbred horse racing is a worldwide sport and industry involving the racing of thoroughbred horses. It is governed by different national bodies. There are two forms of the sport: flat racing and jump racing, called national hunt racing in the UK and steeplechasing in the US. Jump racing can be further divided into hurdling and steeplechasing. Ownership and training of race horses. Traditionally, race horses have been owned by very wealthy individuals. It has become increasingly common in the last few decades for horses to be owned by syndicates or partnerships. Notable examples include the 2005 Epsom Derby winner Motivator, owned by the Royal Ascot Racing Club; 2003 Kentucky Derby winner Funny CIDE, owned by a group of 10 partners organized as Saratoga Stable; 2008 Kentucky Derby winner Big Brown, owned by IEAH Stables, a horse racing hedge fund organization. Historically, most race horses were bred and raced by their owners. Beginning after World War II, the commercial breeding industry became significantly more important in North America, Europe and Australasia, with the result that a substantial portion of thoroughbreds are now sold by the breeders, either at public auction or through private sales. Additionally, owners may acquire thoroughbreds by claiming them out of a race. A horse runs in the unique colors of its owner. These colors must be registered under the national governing bodies, and no two owners may have the same colors. The rights to certain color arrangements are valuable in the same way that distinctive car registration numbers are of value. It is said that Sue Magnier paid £50,000 for her distinctive dark blue colors. If an owner has more than one horse running in the same race, then some slight variant in colors is often used of the race club colors may be used. The horse owner typically pays a monthly retainer or, in North America, a day rate to his or her trainer, together with fees for use of the training center or gallops, veterinarian and farrier fees and other expenses such as mortality insurance premiums, stakes entry fees and jockeys' fees. The typical cost of owning a race horse in training for 1 year is in the order of £15,000 in the United Kingdom and as much as $35,000 at major race tracks in North America. The facilities available to trainers vary enormously. Some trainers have only a few horses in the yard and pay to use other trainers' gallops. Other trainers have every conceivable training asset. It is a feature of racing that a modest establishment often holds its own against the bigger players even in a top race. This is particularly true of national hunt racing. Values. In 1976, P. Canadian Bound became the first thoroughbred yearling race horse ever to be sold for more than $1 million when he was purchased at the Keeneland, July sale by Canadians Ted Burnett and John Secura, Jr. Organizations. Ireland racing is governed on an all-Ireland basis, with two bodies sharing organizing responsibility. The Turf Club is the rulemaking and enforcement body, whilst Horse Racing Ireland governs and promotes racing. In 2013, Ireland exported more than 4,800 thoroughbreds to 37 countries worldwide, with a total value in excess of €205 million. This is double the amount of horses exported annually from the U.S. Great Britain. In Great Britain, thoroughbred horse racing is governed by the British Horse Racing Authority, which makes and enforces the rules, issues licenses or permits to trainers and jockeys, and runs the races through the racecourse officials. The Jockey Club in the UK has been released from its regulatory function but still performs various supporting roles. A significant part of the BHA's work relates to the disciplining of trainers and jockeys, including appeals from decisions made by the course stewards. Disciplinary inquiries usually relate to the running of a horse, for example, failure to run a horse on its merits, interference with other runners, excessive use of the whip. The emergence of internet betting exchanges has created opportunities for the public to lay horses, and this development has been associated with some high-profile disciplinary proceedings. In order to run under rules, a horse must be registered at Weatherby's as a thoroughbred. It must also reside permanently at the yard of a trainer licensed by the BHA or a permit holder. Similarly, the horse's owner or owners must be registered as owners. United States. Regulation and control of racing in the United States is highly fragmented. Generally, a state government entity in each American state that conducts racing will license owners, trainers and others involved in the industry, set racing dates, and enforce drug restrictions and other rules. Pedigree matters and the registration of racing colors, however, are the province of the Jockey Club, which maintains the American Stud Book and approves the names of all thoroughbreds. The National Steeplechase Association is the official sanctioning body of American steeplechase horse racing. Canada. Regulation of horse racing in Canada is under the Jockey Club of Canada. There are a few racing venues across Canada, but the major events are mainly in Ontario and managed by the Woodbine Entertainment Group, formerly Ontario Jockey Club, while British Columbia's major venue is Hastings Racecourse, with popular events like the annual BC Derby. Types of racing. Thoroughbred racing is divided into two codes: flat racing and jump races. The most significant races are categorized as group races or graded stakes races. Every governing body is free to set its own standards, so the quality of races may differ. Horses are also run under different conditions. For example, handicap races, weight for age races are scale weight. Some of the most prestigious races in the world, such as the Grand National or Melbourne Cup, are run as handicaps. Flat racing. Flat races can be run under varying distances and on different terms. Historically, the major flat racing countries were Australia, England, Ireland, France and the United States, but other countries, such as Japan and the United Arab Emirates, have emerged in recent decades. Some countries and regions have a long tradition as major breeding centers, namely Ireland and Kentucky. In Europe and Australia, virtually all major races are run on turf courses, while in the United States, dirt surfaces are prevalent. In Canada, South America and Asia, both surface types are common. Jump racing. Jump races and steeplechases, called national hunt racing in the United Kingdom and Ireland, are run over long distances, usually from 2 miles up to 4.5 miles, and horses carry more weight. Many jump races, especially those bred in France, are not thoroughbreds, being classified as AUPS. Novice jumping races involve horses that are starting out a jumping career, including horses that previously were trained in flat racing. National hunt racing is distinguished between hurdles races and chases. The former are run over low obstacles and the latter over larger fences that are much more difficult to jump. National hunt races are started by flag, which means that horses line up at the start behind a tape. Jump racing is popular in the UK, Ireland, France and parts of Central Europe, but only a minor sport completely unknown in most other regions of the world. National hunt flat races without fences or hurdles are also staged to provide experience for horses which have not taken part in flat racing. Horse breeding. In the world's major thoroughbred racing countries, breeding of race horses is a huge industry, providing over 1 million jobs worldwide. While the attention of horse racing fans and the media is focused almost exclusively on the horse's performance on the racetrack or for male horses, possibly its success as a sire, little publicity is given to the broodmares. Such is the case of La Troyenne, one of the most important mares of the 20th century to whom many of the greatest thoroughbred champions and dams of champions can be traced. Types of races. A handicap race is one in which the runners have been handicapped by carrying more weight, also called an impost, according to the performance in other races. Theoretically, all horses have a chance of being competitive in a race that is correctly handicapped. Examples include the Grand National, the Cambridgeshire Handicap, the Don Handicap, the Santa Anita Handicap, the Hollywood Gold Cup, the Auckland Cup, the Easter Handicap, the Caulfield Cup, and a Melbourne Cup. Higher class races for bigger prizes are known by different terms in various countries. Graded stakes races in the United States and Canada, conditions races in England and France, and group races in Australia and New Zealand. They often involve competitors that belong to the same gender, age and class. These races may, though, be weight for age, with weights adjusted only according to age, and also there are set weights, where all horses carry the same weight. Furthermore, there are conditions races, in which horses carry weights that are set by conditions, such as having won a certain number of races, or races of a certain value. Examples of a stakes conditions race are the Breeders' Cup races, the Dubai World Cup, the 2,000 Guineas Stakes, the 1,000 Guineas Stakes, the Epsom Derby, the Epsom Oaks, the St. Leger Stakes, the Kentucky Derby, the Kentucky Oaks, the Preakness Stakes, the Belmont Stakes, the Travers Stakes, and the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. A maiden race is one in which the runners have never won a race. Maiden races can be among horses of many different age groups. It is similar to a stakes race in the respect that horses all carry similar weights and there are no handicapped penalties. Quote, "This is the primary method for racing a 2-year-old for the first time, although only against other 2-year-olds. 3-year-olds also only race against their own age in maiden races early in the year. An allowance race is one in which the runners run for a higher purse than in a maiden race. These races usually involve conditions such as non-winner of 3 lifetime." Quote, "They usually are for a horse which has broken its maiden but is not ready for stakes company. A claiming race is one in which the horses are all for sale for more or less the same price up until or shortly before the race. The intent of this is to even the race. If a better-than-class horse is entered, it might be lost for the claiming price, which is likely less than the horse is worth. Someone may wish to claim a horse if they think the horse has not been trained to its fullest potential under another trainer. If a horse is purchased, a track official tags it after the race, and it goes to its new owner. A selling race, or seller, is one in which the winner is put up for auction immediately after the race. An optional claiming race is a hybrid of allowance and claiming race, developed to increase field sizes. A horse who does not fit the conditions can still run for the tag, i.e. be run conditional on also being offered for sale. A sweepstakes is an old-fashioned term for a race in which the winning owner wins, or sweeps, the entry fees paid by the owners of all the other horses entered.